Hey, it's Terry Gorry, and this is the Irish Law and Small Business podcast. Okay, in this video I want to talk about franchising and buying a franchise. If you have an interest in starting your own business or running your own business, then one of the least risky ways to do it is to buy a franchise. However, what you need to recognize is the qualitative difference between different types of franchise. If I was to say to you McDonald's, Burger King, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Costa Coffee, you would immediately recognize those as leading franchises. You recognize the colours, the trademark, the logo, the golden arches, Colonel Sanders. You accept, I presume, the birds are coming and feed there. You accept, I presume, that the likes of Burger King and McDonald's and KFC and Costa Coffee have tried and tested systems of operating, of making the coffee, making the burgers, running the restaurants, kitting them out, the logos, the branding, the setup, the get-up, the training. They have central marketing, there's central advertising, there's central purchasing, and obviously, that's what you're buying into. You're buying into a tried and tested system with that type of a franchise. It's going to be expensive, it's going to cost you quite a lot of money, and it would be stomach churning, eye-watering to tell you on a Sunday morning what the figure is, for example, for a McDonald's or a Burger King franchise. Having said that, it's probably a good investment, but I digress slightly. The point I'm making is there's a massive difference, a qualitative difference between a tried and tested franchise like those ones which I've mentioned versus perhaps a new franchise offering you the opportunity to clean houses in Kildare or Westmeath or Meath, or to do some sort of, there's the bloody rain coming now, to do some sort of weight loss program or something of that nature. In other words, if you were going to go clean houses, you'd want to be absolutely certain that the system that they have operating is going to give you a competitive edge versus your competitors. And that's very, very unlikely, because let's face it, anybody can clean a house, and the danger is you're going to get into a situation where you are likely to be, or possibly, undercut by somebody else coming along cleaning houses at a cheaper rate. The same story with the likes of weight loss. I'm not saying you couldn't have a successful weight loss franchise or a house cleaning franchise and so on, but what I am saying to you is this: when you come to house cleaning, can you think of any recognised brand, any recognised franchise that you'd be happy to, or immediately recognise and you'd be happy to invest in? I don't believe so. Anybody can clean houses, but anybody can't set up a McDonald's or a Burger King. So you need to recognise that there's a qualitative difference between a leading, tried and tested brand, tried and tested franchise like McDonald's or Burger King, versus something involving, as I say, cleaning houses, or some sort of a start-up franchise with perhaps a coffee shop or a burger bar or something that hasn't been tried and tested. So you always have to be asking yourself the question, what am I buying here for the franchise fee? What am I buying here for the ongoing franchise payment? And what you're buying is, or what you should be buying is, a recognised brand, a recognised, tried and tested system of operating in that particular industry. And as I say, I've had people coming to me with queries and questions about all sorts of different franchises, but none of them were big, recognised brands. Most of them were relatively new start-up type arrangements in, for example, recruitment or weight loss or cleaning houses or different bits and pieces, stain remover and stuff like that. Those type of franchises, all very well, they may appear to be cheap, they may appear to be good value, they may appear to allow you to get into your own business, something perhaps that you've always had a hankering for, you've always had an ambition or a desire to do that. That's all very well, but you need to weigh up very, very calmly and very carefully what you're buying, what you're actually getting for your money. do you need a franchise, for example, to go and clean houses in Westmeath or Meath or Kildare or Dublin? Don't think you do. It's not rocket science, and obviously you can do it without buying into a franchise. Likewise, you can do plenty of other things as well without necessarily buying into a franchise. If you're going to buy into a franchise, make sure that you're buying into a tried and tested system, a tried and tested arrangement whereby it's a brand that's recognised. And if you find yourself buying a franchise and you're having to explain to family and friends, neighbours, colleagues what exactly the franchise does, and have never heard of it before, then I would caution you to consider carefully, get some more advice, and don't rush into it, because when you're explaining you're losing, and when you're explaining that you've just bought a McDonald's or a Burger King or a KFC or a Costa Coffee, then there's no further explanation required. People might say to you, where did you get the bloody money? But they won't be asking you, what do you do, or what does the business do? Because everybody knows what the business does. But when it comes to cleaning houses or other activities that you may come across a franchise, be careful, because you do need to test and recognise or see if it's a recognised brand and so on. If it's not, then, as I say, you need to be careful. Anyway, I have already made a video about 30 questions you would ask buying a franchise. I'll link it up here. It's on my YouTube channel already. It's there for a few years, but it's 30 questions that you should ask when you're buying a franchise. And if you go through the 30 questions and use it as a sort of a checklist, I think you'll find it very useful, and I think you'll find that it'll help you make a decision as to whether you're going to buy the franchise or not. I hope you find this video useful, and if you do, I'd appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up down below, and I would also appreciate if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I make videos regularly on my YouTube channel, and I cover all sorts of stuff, including law and business and so on and so forth. Thanks for watching, and as I say, hit that like button. Thanks a lot.